Hey guys, welcome back to my video series on graphing functions by hand. In this video, I'm going to show you how to sketch quadratic functions, aka parabolas, when it's written in turning point form. If you're interested, you can check out my other videos where I'll go through how to sketch parabolas using the intercept form, and also how to convert quadratic equations into turning point form when they're written in general form. I'll leave a link to those videos in the description below. The basic parabola has the equation y is equal to x squared. And its graph is going to look something like this. It's like a U shape with a turning point at 0, 0. A negative parabola is going to have the equation y is equal to minus x squared. And its graph is going to look something like this. It's the same graph, only upside down, and the turning point is still at 0, 0. A quadratic function written in turning point form, in general, is written as y is equal to a times x minus h all squared plus k. The value of a will dilate the graph and also determine whether it's going to be a positive or a negative parabola. And just as a side note, even if the coefficient of the x inside the brackets is negative, the graph will still be in a positive shape. It's the negative that's outside the brackets that will determine if the graph is going to be an upside down shape or not. The value of h is going to tell us where the x coordinate of the turning point is, and the value of k will tell us where the y coordinate of the turning point is. And now, here's the 4 steps that you need to take when sketching parabolas. The first step is to determine whether it's going to be a positive or a negative parabola. The second step is to work out the coordinates of the turning point. The third step is to work out if there's going to be any x and y intercepts. And the fourth step is to label and mark these on the axes and then sketch the graph. And that's pretty much it for the basics. So now let's get into some examples. Sketch the graphs of the following. Part A, y is equal to x minus 5 squared. Step 1. We need to determine whether this is going to be a positive or a negative parabola. And since there's no negative outside the brackets, then this is going to be a positive. And so its shape is going to be in this form. The second step is to work out the coordinates of the turning point. To find the x coordinate of the turning point, we let whatever's inside the brackets equal 0 and then solve for x. And so if we let x minus 5 equal 0, solving for x, we're going to get x is equal to 5. And so the x coordinate of the turning point is going to be when x is equal to 5. The y coordinate is going to be the constant that is added or subtracted to the brackets, or the squared term. And since there's no constant, this means that the y coordinate of the turning point is going to be 0. And so therefore, the turning point is going to have the coordinates 5, 0. The next step is to work out the x and y intercepts. For the y-intercept, we let x is equal to 0 and then solve for y. And so y is going to be 0 minus 5 squared, which is minus 5 squared, and this is going to be 25. And so the y-intercept is going to be at 25. For the x-intercept, we let y is equal to 0 and then solve for x. Now, since the turning point has the coordinates 5, 0, we know the x-intercept is going to be at 5. But let's just work it out anyway. And so we're going to get x minus 5 squared is equal to 0. Taking the square root of both sides, we're going to get x minus 5 is equal to 0. And solving for x, this is going to be x is equal to 5. And so the x-intercept is going to be at x is equal to 5. And the last step is to mark all these points on the axes and then sketch the graph. And so drawing the axes, we're marking the x and y intercepts, and then we draw a positive parabola. Part B, y is equal to 1 minus x squared plus 3. Step 1, we need to determine if this is going to be a positive or negative parabola. And since there's no negative outside the brackets, this is going to be a positive parabola, even when the x inside the brackets has a negative coefficient. And so its shape is going to be in this form. Step 2, we need to work out the coordinates of the turning point. For the x coordinate, we let 1 minus x equal 0 and then solve for x, and so x is going to be 1. The y coordinate of the turning point is going to be the constant that's added to the squared part, and so this is going to be 3. And so therefore, the coordinates of the turning point is going to be 1, 3. Then we need to work out the x and y intercepts. For the y-intercept, we let x is equal to 0 and then solve for y. And so y is going to be 1 minus 0 squared, which is just 1 squared, and then plus 3. And so this is going to equal to 4. Now for the x-intercept, since the coordinates of the turning point is 1, 3, and it's a positive parabola, this means that it's not going to have any x-intercepts. And so we jump to step 4. We mark these coordinates on the axis and then sketch the graph. And so on the axis, we're marking the turning point and the y-intercept, and then sketch a positive parabola. Part C. Y is equal to minus 6 times x minus 2 squared plus 2. Step 1. We need to determine if this is positive or negative. Since there's a negative outside the brackets, then this is going to be a negative parabola. And so its graph is going to be in this shape. Step 2. We need to work out the coordinates of the turning point. For the x-coordinate, we let x minus 2 equal 0 and solve for x, and so x is equal to 2. The y-coordinate is going to be the constant that's added to the squared part, and so this is going to be 2. And so therefore, the coordinates of the turning point is going to be 2, 2. Next, we need to work out the x and y intercepts. For the y-intercept, we let x is equal to 0 and then solve for y. And so we're going to get y is equal to minus 6 times 0 minus 2 squared, which is minus 2 squared, and then plus 2. Minus 2 squared is 4, and then 4 times minus 6 is minus 24, and then plus 2, and so this is going to be minus 22. Now, since we have an upside down parabola, and the turning point is at 2, 2, then there will be x-intercepts. And so, to find the x-intercepts, we let y is equal to 0, and then solve for x. And so we're going to get minus 6 times x minus 2 all squared plus 2 is equal to 0. And so moving the plus 2 to the right hand side and then dividing by negative 6, we're going to get x minus 2 squared is equal to minus 2 on minus 6, which is equal to 1 on 3. And now taking the square root of both sides, we're going to get x minus 2 is equal to plus or minus 1 on root 3. And now solving for x, x is equal to plus or minus 1 on root 3 plus 2. And using your calculator, correct to one decimal place, x is going to be 1.4 or x is going to be 2.6. And so the x-intercepts are going to be these values. And for the last step, we're marking these points and then sketch a negative parabola. And so on the axis, we're marking the turning point and then the x and y intercepts, and then draw a negative or upside down parabola. Part D. Y is equal to minus x minus 8 squared minus 9. Step 1. This is going to be a negative parabola, and so it's going to be in this shape. Step 2. We need to work out the coordinates of the turning point. For the x-coordinate, we let x minus 8 equal 0. Solving for x, this is going to be 8. The y-coordinate is going to be minus 9. And so the coordinates of the turning point is going to be 8 and minus 9. And now we need to work out the x and y intercepts. For the y-intercept, we let x is equal to 0 and then solve for y. And so we're going to get y is equal to minus, and then 0 minus 8 is going to be minus 8, and then all squared minus 9. Minus 8 squared is positive 64. And then the minus on the outside is going to make it minus 64, and then we got a minus 9, which is equal to minus 73. Now, since the turning point is at 8 and minus 9, and the shape of the parabola is an upside down U, then there won't be any x-intercepts. And so we just go to step 4. We're marking these points and then sketch an upside down parabola. And so on the axis, we're marking the coordinates of the turning point and then marking the y-intercept and then sketch an upside down parabola. And that's it for this video. If you found it useful, then give it a thumbs up and leave your comments below. And tap on that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And by the way, don't forget to watch my other videos on how to sketch parabolas using the intercept form and how to convert a quadratic equation into turning point form. Good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video.